sway back and forth as ships crash through them. These ships are coming back from foreign lands containing products the New World hadn't seen before. When they reach their destination of Salem Harbor, they drop these goods off and go back for more. Salem Harbor has been home to merchant ships for centuries. It is actually said to be the most successful port in America during the beginning of the New World. This was due to help from Alaska Skit Derby, who is said to be the first millionaire of the United States. He grew up with a very successful father, who was a sea captain and merchant. His father owned 13 vessels in the Salem port. His father taught him always to work hard, and you will get what you want. Derby showed this when he would go to the counting house and do bookkeeping for his father's business. Derby always took his father's advice and used it in his work. When the Revolutionary War broke out in 1775, Derby began showing his father what he was capable of. Derby started to help his country in the war. He began equipping ships for privateering. Derby equipped around 158 total ships. He sent out his father's 13 vessels. One of Derby's most successful privateers was the Grand Turk, who captured a total of 17 ships and all their goods. This allowed America to have more modern weapons, as they would take the British equipment. Before the war ended, Derby's father died and left the business in the hand of Derby and his brothers. Elias became the most successful of all his brothers, though. Following the war, trade became depressed because the Americans were no longer trading with Britain. With the help of Derby, they were able to get out of this depression. Derby introduced trade with plenty of new countries, such as China and all over the East Indies. Derby's first voyage was when his ship, the Grand Turk, under Captain Jonathan Ingersoll, went to the Cape of Good Hope. Derby sent over a supercargo of dried fish, lumber, cotton, butter, beef, tobacco, rum, and molasses. When Ingersoll arrived to the Cape, he sold all of his goods to the people and made a huge profit. Because of such a successful voyage by Ingersoll, Derby decided to send the Grand Turk to the Cape again, but this time the voyage was unsuccessful as no one bought or traded for the American goods. This actually turned out to be a good thing, though. The Grand Turk continued sailing east and found a French-owned island called Mauritius. The Grand Turk became the first American vessel to ever arrive there. The people of this island had a demand for American goods and traded them some coffee, pepper, and tea. While in Mauritius, Derby's captain heard that Canton, China, or Guangzhou, was a good place to trade. The captain told Derby of this news, and Derby said he would send him there after he delivered the goods from Mauritius. In 1786, the Grand Turk sailed to Canton in search of people seeking American goods. When the Grand Turk arrived to Canton, the demand for American goods was so high they continued trading with China for 3 years. During this time, Derby owned 1/4 of the ships that traded with China. His ships were the Grand Turk, Asteria, Light Horse, Atlantic, and the Three Sisters. Derby's ship became the first New England ship to trade directly with China. They would receive an assortment of tea, such as Bohea, Hyson, Souchong, Bohea, Congo, and Cassia. They also received Chinaware, silk, cinnamon, and furniture. Derby stopped trading with China because the demand for Chinese goods in America was decreasing and the voyage cost a lot of money. only went on one voyage in his life, and it was to Bombay, India. In India, the Americans traded for indigo and cotton. As Derby got older, he began to stop sending ships off to trade and later gave his business away. With the money Derby made from trading with other nations, Derby was able to build a mansion, which was actually a wedding gift for his wife. It was one of the largest houses owned by a family back then. Inside the house were 3 bedrooms, a kitchen, and 2 dining rooms. Inside these rooms were products received when trading with other countries, such as chinaware and spices from foreign lands. The stairway was fancy, and the house had columns. They had many portraits on the walls and hardwood floors. The furniture was also fancy. In the backyard, they had a formal garden, meaning there was a path going through it so you could walk through it. You would find plants from all over the world in his garden because his crew members would bring him plants when they arrived home from voyages. Derby is a worldwide remembered figure. Now he has many places named after him, such as the Derby Lighthouse, Derby Street, Derby Wharf, and Derby Square. On September 8, 1799, Derby died. Derby will forever be known as King Derby, or the first American millionaire.